we have to move on, unfortunately. I have been stalling successfully for about 5 minutes. I don't want to cover this first story. As a matter of fact, I think we need to start it a little more respectfully. This 200th episode, as a matter of fact, will be dedicated in the name of he. I think, let's just cut to it, ladies and gentlemen. Official medical findings have shed new light on the sudden passing of longtime South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham.
There's not much more we can say, really.
Nope.
We've lost someone we love.
Yep.
It hurts.
It hurts.
Even though Tom is gone.
Lindsey. I told him before this. Come on.
Forever.
He'll be in our lives forever.
Comforting us.
Yep.
Making us laugh. And watching over us.
Watching over us. According to a preliminary report released by Washington, D.C. Medical Examiner's Office, the 71-year-old lawmaker died Saturday night from a catastrophic tear in his inner aortic wall, a condition medically known as an aortic dissection. Investigators state that the tear was related to an underlying case of I'm not going to try to pronounce it, commonly referred to as the hardening of the arteries. First responders had rushed to the senator's Capitol Hill home Saturday evening, following emergency calls reporting severe chest pains, but medical teams were unable to stabilize him. The medical examiner's office notes that the final death certificate will be issued once routine toxicological and microscopic testings are finalized. Graham's sudden death throws a major wrench into the political landscape, narrowing the Republican Senate majority. With a critical legislative juncture, under the South Carolina law, Republican Governor Henry McAllister will appoint a temporary replacement to serve out the remainder of Graham's term. Fly high, King. I'm gonna miss him beyond belief. And listen, this is not even a joke. Lady G, Lindsey Graham, closeted gay man that he was, I was deeply, deeply inspired by him. He was a titan of hawkishness on war. He was like, we gotta topple fucking Russia and all this shit. He was deep in on the conflicts. He was big on American involvement. And I wanted to take a moment to review one of my favorite moments with Lady G. This is back during the witch trial prosecution of Brett Kavanaugh, who ended up still becoming an associate justice on the Supreme Court. So, how much of a witch trial was it exactly? They found no witch. You know what I mean? Even though there was. I'm going to be honest with you, some cows that were producing blood from the udders. There was like some women going infertile. There was some weird witchcraft in the village, but they did not find a witch, oddly enough. So, I wanted to review one of my favorite moments with Lady G. Take it away. He's just magnetic.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You said that. Not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsey said hello. Because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most
unethical sham since I've been in politics.
And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Are you a gang rapist?
No.
Are you a gang rapist?
Are you a gang rapist?
No.
Oh, I'm a little disappointed.
I cannot imagine what you and your family have gone through. Boy, y'all want power. God, I hope you never get it. I hope the American people can see through this sham.
Sham.
That you knew about it and you held it. You had no intention of protecting Dr. Ford.
Dr. Ford.
She's as much of a victim as you are. God, I hate to say it, because these have been my friends.
My friends.
But let me tell you, when it comes to this, you're looking for a fair process. You came to the wrong town at the wrong time.
At the wrong time, my friend.
Do you consider this a job interview?
He doesn't proceed to answer it. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's slurring during this entire proceeding.
Advice and consent role is like a job.
You consider that you've been through a job interview.
Oh my God. Job interview.
A process of advice and consent under the Constitution.
Would you say you've been through hell?
Hell.
I've been through hell and then some.
This is not a job interview. This is hell.
Hell.
This is going to destroy the ability of good people to come forward because of this crap.
Crap!
Your high school yearbook. You have interacted with professional women all your life, not one accusation. You're supposed to be Bill Cosby when you're a junior and senior in high school.
Why are you bringing up Bill Cosby, you son of a bitch? You think you're helping?
And all of a sudden you got over it. It's been my understanding that if you drug women and rape them for 2 years in high school, you probably don't stop.
Yeah, or unless you get smart and you're like, well, damn, I better either stop doing this or I better, like, do it a lot quieter.
Here's my understanding. If you lived a good life, people would recognize it, like the American Bar Association has the gold standard. His integrity is absolutely unquestioned. He is the very circumspect in his personal conduct, harbors no biases or prejudices. He's entirely ethical, is a really decent person.
I believe it.
He's warm, friendly, unassuming. He's the nicest person.
Unassuming?
The ABA.
The ABA.
One thing I can tell you, you should be proud of. Ashley, you should be proud of this.
Proud of this.
That you raised a daughter who had the good character to pray for Dr. Ford. To my Republican colleagues, if you vote no, you're legitimizing the most despicable thing I have seen in my time in politics. You want this seat? I hope you never get it. I hope you're on the Supreme Court. That's exactly where you should be.
Where you should be.
And I hope that the American people will see through this charade.
Wow.
And I wish you well. And I intend to vote for you. And I hope everybody who's fair-minded will.
You know, that's actually, this speech was what made me go, okay, yeah, put him on the Supreme Court. I was actually like, sure, actually, that's fine then. He might actually be innocent. As far as I know, Lindsey Graham put up a good enough performance to possibly convince me. Am I a fool for that? Is anyone a fool for that? I don't think so. What I do think is that the Russians killed this guy. I do. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people are going like, I don't know whether or not the people actually killed him. I don't know whether or not he was assassinated. He might have been. As far as I know, he was into the funding Ukraine shit.
We learned that 3 of McCain's former colleagues were also in town. Democratic Senators Elizabeth Warren and Richard Blumenthal, and Republican Senator Lindsey Graham.
Why are those 3 on a team?
They don't normally agree on much. Together, though, they're some of the staunchest supporters of U.S. funding for Ukraine's resistance.
Yeah, kind of weird.
They're on track to break the Russian army.
No, they're not.
And the only way they could possibly lose is if we pull the plug on them.
Not true.
The wreckage of Russia's war machine was on display for you.
The idea that Pocahontas and Lady G are agreeing on something together should immediately make the idea repellent to anyone.
Independence Day celebrations, even as almost a fifth of the country remains under occupation.
People ask me, is it worth it? Here's what we've gotten for our investment. We haven't lost one soldier. We've reduced the combat power of the Russian army by 50%. Not one of us has died in that endeavor. This is a great deal for America.
Is it so? Is it so a great deal for America? I'm going to be honest with you. Watching Russia slowly unite with China and Tehran right now for this transcontinental project with railroads and all of these sort of supply lines, I don't love the idea of alienating foreign powers so that they can get nice and cozy with a communist power. That's not comfy.
You previously said that it's the best money we've ever spent. That's still true?
Since we helped Churchill stand up to the Nazis.
We have to have confidence that the dollars we're spending are actually being spent in defense of the nation. All of that is important. But that's why we're doing it. Why did it cut her off? That's so strange. Anyways, whatever.
Lady G, I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you so badly, King. When I heard the news about it, I was devastated. Immediately, I joked about, I was like, God damn, the AIDS must have gotten bad. But then I realized it was probably the Russians killing you. I was like, damn, he was really out there. He was out there trying to topple the Russian regime. He was hanging out with Navalny and shit. He was trying to be the next Lenin, unfortunately. And Lady G, they weren't going to let that happen. So they severed his aorta, and now he's dead, unfortunately. Ladies and gentlemen, What more is there to say on the grand legacy of Lady G? What more can you or it on the legend of a man? I feel like Demodocus, rapping to you the legend of Odysseus, and I feel as though there's no more to say. This is the end of his tale. And yes, his effects will be felt for years on end, and people will remember him for his gusto and his, proclivities. Proclivities? Can we call it that for other men? I know the gay jokes. He never married, all this sort of stuff. He died alone and whatnot. That's probably exactly why he didn't have a male escort with him or like a wife at any point in his life. So he just died. He was just gonna die. Well, I'm just gonna be honest with you. You're less likely to die if you have people around you, if you surround yourself with individuals. That's why, you see people with big families generally tending to live pretty long, because anytime they're about to be peacefully exiting into the next plane of existence, their families grab them and rush them to the doctor to get fucking Frankenstein bolts in the neck. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen so many people, like other people's families and whatnot, and I've seen them force their people to live to over 90. I've seen them force their older relatives that are clearly, like, they can barely walk, they don't know where they are half the time, they're like, I don't know, like, where do we go again? Like, I don't know where I am right now. They are just lost, they don't understand what time is anymore. They're like, what is kind of like, what do you call like a lunch? Do I have to eat? Do I have to do this eating thing like every day? And like waking up, what is that? There's like, their mind melts at a certain point. These people that were born in the 30s or 20s, they're not meant to stick around for that long. And unfortunately, they keep sticking a new splint in the heart. They keep getting them brand new oxygen tubes to walk around with and whatnot. It's just like you're RoboCopping your grandmother into a longer, less meaningful existence. Whatever. It's interesting. It's whatever. You know what I mean? I wish that she took better care of herself when she was younger, but there's nothing we can do. We can't change the past. We can only meaningfully change the future with our actions today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what else to say about this. Lady G, I'll miss you forever and always. You were my king. I hope that heaven is beautiful wherever you are, or if the Christians are right, I really hope that burning in hell is not that bad. If I will try to define your legacy as a legendary man, an Odyssean type figure, as I've said before. What more is there to say on a legend? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of Lady G.